Hey, good afternoon, good evening, Michael. Welcome back.
Hi, Luchana. Good to see you again.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, we were just sharing right before the recording started that you were in Maldives right now.
Yeah, Maldives.
Yeah,
Yeah, right now.
yeah, what a
There's
nice
a
place to
photo.
be.
This is actually the resort we're staying in here, so you can see it in the background there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in a little hut over the water, which is beautiful. Very special.
Beautiful, beautiful. Mm.
Mm.
So let's see,
Mm.
how is the experience in this gorgeous, beautiful place? It's in this paradise. What's going on?
Yeah, it's beautiful. So we kind of, have expectations. We were told that it was going to take us many hours to get here, and
Mm-hmm.
we probably wouldn't arrive until the afternoon. And we actually got here in the morning, so it was a lovely surprise. So we've had almost a whole extra day. We've only got 2 days here. It's very, very expensive, the Maldives,
Mm-hmm.
and it's on Sandra's, my wife's, bucket list. She's always wanted to do it. So we're only staying 2 nights. That's it.
Wow.
But yeah,
So
the
you,
2 nights
you
is costing us more than the whole of the 2 weeks we spent almost in Sri Lanka. So it's,
mm, mm.
but yeah, it was on the bucket list. But it's beautiful.
Lovely, lovely.
Mm.
How does it feel to be there? Yeah, what is
Pretty
the
special. Yeah.
mm, okay.
Mm.
It's a
It
nice
feels
place.
luxurious.
It's a nice place to relax for the mind or for the whole system to relax. Or the mind
Yeah,
is active. How is it? How is it going?
well, the mind's been pretty good, pretty
Mm,
relaxed. But it has been pretty good. Yeah, I mean, being on holiday is pretty good because
nice.
normally I work. This is the longest I've had without doing any work at all, probably since I
Mm.
started the business, which is maybe more than 12, 13 years.
Okay, tell
So
me
I've
more
had
about that.
2 full weeks off.
Tell me more about that. How does it feel to just chill and not do anything? Or
Mm.
just, yeah, walk and have a,
I do like it. It feels lovely, but I did mention to you that my mind is quite busy, and so I tend to, because we've done many hours driving. We've covered 1,000 kilometers around Sri Lanka, so we did a
Mhm,
big tour over 2 weeks. That meant quite a bit of sitting in the car and
mhm,
driving.
mhm,
And I can go. My mind can be quiet, and it can just take in things.
mhm,
But I find it a little tricky to just sit and do nothing. So,
mm,
I'll do things like breathing exercise. I'll be doing breathing exercises. I do some
mhm,
other kind of health exercises. Like I'll do mental. So I do Wing Chun as well. So I'll be practicing Wing Chun in my mind. So I'll be doing all sorts of different things with the mind for a lot of it.
mhm, mhm. And
And
mind,
then taking the scenery and enjoying it as well. But the mind
great.
can be very busy. Yeah.
Yeah. But the mind is enjoying that, right? Doing like different things, different.
It's Yeah, I like it because it's different than thinking about work or just constantly thinking about work and what needs to be done for work. So it is
Mm.
more enjoyable, but it's still quite busy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And my question is it possible for one day or half of a day just to relax and drop completely everything? Or it would be like mm, challenging for the mind?
Uh, it depends what you mean by dropping everything. Like I can sit and read a book, but I guess that's mine too. But it'll be a
Mm-hmm,
non-duality Sailor Bob book. I'm reading Sailor Bob's book at the moment, one of his.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I can easily sit and do nothing and read that and maybe listen to YouTube recording or meditation or just do a meditation. I can easily do that. But if
Mm-hmm.
you mean just stopping, sitting,
Yes, yes. I mean
doing
exactly that.
nothing,
Just sitting, staring at the ocean and this beautiful blue water. It's not like now and behind you is not blue, but I can imagine how blue it is.
that's beautiful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
beautiful blue.
Just stirring the
So
water.
yeah, that would be a challenge.
Oh, let's have a look here. Why? I'm not
Uh,
saying that we should do that, like everyone should do that, but
mm,
just curiosity. Because when we are on vacation or when we
mm,
go somewhere, it's like it's as if we want to do more, more, more. And
mm,
we forgot somehow to be, not to do.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try it. I have to do it.
Yeah,
Might be a
just,
bit difficult here because I'm with Sandra, but
yeah,
I'm leaving for India on Sunday.
okay, you're going to be alone there?
Yeah, so I
Mm.
can definitely do it then. Mm,
Great. Yeah, India is very well, like very good a starting point for doing nothing, I guess.
mm, yeah.
Oh, I never been. I just have this feeling like the vibe is like you can just chill and the places that you're
I
gonna
think,
go.
yeah, well, we're going to be at near Ramana Ashram, so I'm going to be there. So
I see.
close to Arunachala, so all those sacred sites. So it'd be very easy to sit and do nothing, I think. Yeah.
Good, good.
Mm,
Did you notice some kind of challenges, something like trigger, something arising, or everything goes smoothly and yeah, what do you notice? You mentioned
um,
something about expectations. We could have a look at that. Even though the expectations that were there, it turns
mm,
out that it's okay, right?
mm.
It turns out quite
We
the
worked out
opposite. Yeah.
yeah, it was the opposite. So we were very happily surprised. So
Hmm.
we're expecting not to have very long here. Sorry, I'll
So that's
pause. There's a bit of a time delay, I think. Yeah,
mhm. How is it now? Let's see.
good.
Hmm. Uh, yeah, we can have a look at the expectations,
Mm,
how the expectations are shaping our experience and putting the experience into some kind of a walls and order,
mm,
like, and then we usually like rare we are happy, and most of the time the expectations are for something, and if this didn't happen, it's disaster.
mm.
Hmm. Yeah, what is it that it is expecting?
Well, I think the thing is that there's a projection into the future. So there's already living into the future. So it's already thinking,
How it's going to be there?
it's how's it going to be when we get there? And we're only going to have this short period of time. And so that's why it's very nice when that period of time becomes a lot longer. And so it's a pleasant surprise, right? But it's still living into the future. It's not just being.
Yeah,
And so even
exactly.
though it's nice, pleasant, it's still not being present. And one thing at the airport that did like I did notice because my mind is very still now, it's much more quiet.
Hmm.
I'm not as switched on. So I've got to be really careful. I lost a credit card already. So
Wow.
um and that can be a little bit concerning because um even just like leaving things behind on the belt, the most important thing on the security belt. And I walk off and I'm looking at the luggage, I have to go back. So it's and I mean, I've always been a little bit forgetful, but I've
Mhm.
always been very vigilant when it comes to I'm traveling. I need to make sure I've got this. I need to know where it is. That's kind of gone. So that's a little bit concerning that I could get myself
Concerning.
stuck
Oh, concerning. Why it is concern? Yeah,
because
it's
I'm not.
not pleasant to forget things. Yeah, that's true. But is there any other concern that you're not gonna be have well, or what is the concern?
Yeah, there's a concern that I could lose money or lose
Mm,
mostly the money or
mm,
or again yeah, I'd just be stuck, be stuck
Mhm.
somewhere and
Mm.
have trouble working things out.
Mm.
So there is that little bit of concern there, but it's not enough to. I probably need to be more concerned. I actually do something about it.
No, you don't have to be more concerned, but there are things that
Mm,
can be done about that. Losing memory is part of the awakening. It's just like that.
mm,
It's just you things that are not serving, they are not here. They don't need to be here. But not all of things that are not serving are not here. Many things can be forgotten. That's normal.
mm,
There is also
mm.
a science is saying something about that. I'm not sure where it was, but anyhow, it's a long story. So
Yeah.
there are things that can be done about that.
Mm,
Like we can have a list, we can put notes, we can have
mm,
reminders,
mm,
we can have practical things that help that.
mm,
But what is
mm,
optional is to be vigilant and to judge our experience. That's optional. That's not needed.
mhm,
Like to
mm,
judge, this is wrong. You
mm,
shouldn't be like that. You should be very vigilant, very, yeah, that's
mm.
optional. That's not needed.
Well, interestingly, a beautiful thing did happen at the airport where we didn't have the entry visa for this country.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did this online check-in. So you skip all the queue, you go up the front, and you just put your
Mm-hmm.
baggage on, and they say, Where is this application for entry?" And normally that would be a state of panic, like we're already running a bit late, and
For the plane.
but they were
Uh-huh.
very beautiful. Yeah, but they were very beautiful. The people kind of took. She actually left the desk and took us over and helped us to get this online thing. And there was no internet, so you couldn't connect to the internet. So she connected us to her own internet on a phone and did it all for us. It was quite amazing. But normally
Wow.
that would have been normally that would have been a panic situation. They say, well, you have to get this. Have you not got it? Well, you log onto the you have to go and do it, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was impossible to connect to the internet. Yeah, so
Wow,
that
that's
was a beautiful
beautiful.
state of
That's
flow.
beautiful. Yeah,
Mm,
that's again another, not that we need proof of something, but it's like a sign or proof that everything is being
mm,
held and taken care of. Everything
mm,
is like synchronicity. There is nothing else but synchronicity, or there is nothing else
mm,
but things go smoothly.
mm,
Beautiful. Yeah, everything cares. Everything. The wholeness cares of itself.
mm. And that does, this is a sticking point with me as well, because I can see that happens sometimes, and it depends how you interpret it as well. But
Yeah.
like I've got significant, like I've had significant challenges with health, for
Mhm.
example,
Mhm.
and that's something that doesn't seem to be in flow or doesn't seem to be being looked after by the universe. I
Mm.
know it depends how you see it because who, when I
Mm.
say being looked after, who I'm talking about, because it's the body.
Ah, okay. But what is the body right now? What is we call body this experience of sensations and shape and colors.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's just the picture on the screen.
Yeah.
So and I can see it. It's one part of this picture, and it's not who I am, but it doesn't fit in with it feels like I've jumped on the wrong timeline. So
Mm.
timeline splits this way, this way. I should be on this timeline, but it's somehow jumped onto this timeline where the body isn't healthy.
Mm. Yeah, and then something
But,
can be done about that.
mm,
Practical things can be done about that.
mm,
Taking care of the
mm,
body may arise.
mm,
Yeah. Going to a therapy may arise, visiting a
mm,
doctor, or doing
mm,
something for the body for this.
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
but all this is arising spontaneously.
mm,
And again, this is like the wholeness is taking care of that as well.
mm. And there are lessons as well because I am like it involves some discomfort at
Mhm.
times,
Mhm.
and that discomfort it's almost like to deal with the discomfort, I just open up senses to everything. So
Yeah.
I'll just open up to sound. So now I'm just waiting for sound without giving it a location or a name or a concept.
Mm.
And so I'm just opening up, and then there's sound. And then when the sensation that we would normally say is unpleasant is in that,
Right.
it's just another sensation. If it's not called unpleasant, then
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's not really anything. It's just a sensation. And so it's kind of a
Yeah. There is no
in that way.
sensation. Yeah. Go on. Go on.
You go on. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. I just wanted to add that there is no sensation that we can't experience.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's we are
Because
such a deep, like huge space that anything can arise here and be experienced and be released, and then it can come again and be felt. Yeah.
but it is interesting that that seems to be how it has evolved. That
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you wanted to say it had any meaning, any of this has any meaning, then I could read that meaning as saying, well, this is a lesson. It's a lesson to switch off from the thought of the idea of that discomfort and to recognize it as just another thing arising, just another
Yeah.
thing that just arising in this.
Yeah. And again, there are things that can be done about that.
Mm. Mm. And I am doing things, yeah.
Great. Yeah. And things are
Yeah.
being done. Things are being done.
Yeah.
Taking care of this
Well,
is being done.
yeah. Mm. Yeah. Although I'm delaying things a long way, thinking that I can heal potentially as well.
Oh, we can have a look at
Yeah.
that. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we can heal. Yeah. We are the wholeness healing
Yeah.
itself through
Yeah.
doctors, through therapy, through pills, through everything. Yeah, that's true. Okay. What is
Yeah. I do have,
the, okay, go on.
go on. I do have a
You,
distrust of the medical system,
mm,
um, the standard medical system. I think that I know that they probably have, of course, good, very, very good people with the best of intentions, but I think that sometimes looking for things that we're too proactive in looking for things and finding things and too eager to operate, based on chances. They look at the odds and the chances, and they are almost too precautious in terms of
mm,
operating rather than taking a risk. So, but I do have a distrust of any. I just don't. I don't believe in operations unless it's absolutely essential.
mm,
And yeah, and any interference really, the body should be able to heal itself mostly, and then maybe there's other causes, energetic causes, or
mhm.
so. I'd be interested to hear what you say about that because I'm actually delaying it probably a lot more than many
Well,
people would.
mm, I don't know what to say from experience, speaking from experience only. I have no idea mm, what's gonna come here. For now,
Mm,
things seem good, but who knows what's behind the corner? I don't know. When I have a headache, if it becomes like it's rare, sometimes it's rare, more like rare and rare. But if it is intense, I took a pill. I take a pill
mm, mm,
sometimes if there is a strong pain. Yeah. For some kind of a, like you could say, more serious stuff. I don't know. Maybe, maybe
mm,
not. I don't know. It's like life is inviting, and if something serious comes, you can't postpone, you can't delay.
mm, mm,
If it is really knocking on your door, if it is banging, you have to open.
mm, mm, mm.
So maybe it's not so intense, so strong. Maybe that's why.
Maybe. Yeah, but who knows? it's just interesting how looking back on the time along the timeline that never happened. All right, so I don't know. I don't know who's watching this video because it sounds like crazy talk, right? But
Yeah,
um,
crazy ones like us are gonna watch that.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, I can see it's amazing because it's like over the years I can see little pointers, like almost like hmm, it's like things pop up, and it's
Hmm.
like you can almost follow that happened, that happened. They said that, that happened to them. They did that, that happened, and that happened, and then you can see, oh, and it's ended up here. So it does seem like there's a timeline and almost like a story that was being written to maneuver me into this
Mm. Mm.
position where I am
Hmm.
right now,
Yeah.
which of course is all just mind and all just story and all just made
We
up and
we
all just,
hardly ever move from here. That's true.
mm.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you end up in Maldives? I asked that question on our first session, I think, but yeah, how did you end up there? Oh, did you do that?
Yeah. Well, um,
It's miraculous.
it is. It is. Yeah. It just kind of happened. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so healing again or going to a doctor or visiting a hospital or whatever, going to
Mm.
it also
It'll just
happens.
happen.
Yeah.
Mm.
If it does, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Mm. I think I need. I think it's a matter of practice. And I know that's, but it does seem like there's conditioning still here. Like there's still not that full faith
Okay,
in
full faith that things are okay.
in
What is the conditioning
yeah things are
thing?
well
Like,
the things are okay or that I can't there's no me here. Like it's just getting more and more difficult to locate any sense of me or
yeah.
it just it's just thoughts,
Do you
ideas,
do you
even
know
that's
why
just
it is difficult to locate?
because
Is
it
it
isn't there, yeah. It doesn't
yeah,
exist. It's just a bunch of thoughts.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
thoughts
yeah.
just
Exactly. There is nothing there.
but this sense of absolute faith
Mm.
in that this is it. There's nothing else. That there's only one. Um, I think there's conditioning in the way of that still.
Mm. What is the conditioning saying here? How the conditioning is coming like as what it is expressing as what? When you say conditioning, what do you mean?
Well, there's thoughts of being small or being insignificant or being
Mm.
powerless or being
Mm.
even thoughts of having to control. So all those sorts of conditioning
So they
thoughts
arise, right? They
still
arise.
arise. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Is there an expectation that these will stop arising? Just notice curiously the very subtle expectation that
Mm.
thoughts like that will stop arising once and for all.
Yeah, there is that expectation, I think.
Nice, nice to see that. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Nothing else needs to be seen here. Yeah, just there is a hidden like subtle expectation. Thoughts
Mm.
arise. They may arise, may not. The question is, yeah, what is being playing with those?
Mm.
Yeah, is there something that is believing or taking these for granted? Taking these thoughts for, or the content of these thoughts for truth?
It doesn't have as much weight as none of those thoughts have
Nice,
the weight that they used to
nice,
have.
yes.
Nowhere near the weight.
Mhm.
Um, but like there are still triggers that happen along those lines. So,
Yeah,
and sometimes it's like I can see that even this is even those thoughts are just this arising. So that's part of it too.
Right.
So that's just part of this, because if I'm wanting the thoughts to go away, then that's not this, and that's
Yeah, yeah. What is
and
it that is
even
wanting thoughts to go away, and why the thoughts should be a problem?
yeah, that's just
Yeah,
another bunch of thoughts
yeah.
wanting it to go away.
Yes, exactly. Beautiful. Yeah, what's the difference between thoughts about what I'm gonna eat today, or shall I swim now or later,
Mm, mm, mm,
and thoughts about there is someone here, insignificant. These
mm.
are thoughts, empty content. Yeah, no one there.
Mm. And even like pushing thoughts away too is happening less. Like thoughts of because thoughts
Mm.
come up. Oh, I shouldn't be thinking that, or I shouldn't be, And like even watching that and going, well, that's
That's funny.
what control. What control do I have over that thought coming up? So, and even if I want to push it away, what control do I have about wanting to push it away?
Great.
And so it's kind of, I have had that glimpse of freedom of just watching the thoughts come up and wanting to push them away and thinking that's a thought I shouldn't be having and thinking, well, the thought's here. It's not my thought.
Yeah,
It just came in. It's no good. It's
absolutely.
like the
Yeah,
sound
yeah.
of the dog
The
barking.
thought, exactly. The thought I want these thoughts to not come is also seen, right? It's also a thought.
Yeah.
It's arising
Yeah.
here. We are not. We are doing none of that. None of that. This is our doing.
Mm,
None of it. Yeah. Thoughts are like I don't know, clouds, flies. I don't know, bzz, all kinds of thoughts,
mm,
but they're arising in the empty space. No one here. No one in the space, no one being the space, no one owning the space. It's just space.
mm,
And usually when the experience is calm with that, like the system is calm, thoughts follow the experience and they also become lighter. They don't stop at all, but they become lighter, not so harsh. Then the narrative
mm,
changes, definitely.
mm.
You notice that
Yeah.
already in your experience, right?
Yeah. Your guidance on, I think one of the thoughts that has kind of been repetitive and persistent
Mhm.
for many years, probably from childhood, is, I'm alone. I'm all alone,
Mm. Mm.
and like welcoming that in, like your one of the sessions that we did, you talked about
Yeah,
just
yeah, just
welcoming almost
welcoming.
like a child, and just like, yeah, instead of pushing it away and saying that shouldn't happen, or I shouldn't have those thoughts, just welcoming them in, and
Yeah,
just
it's coming for a
that's
reason.
really, yeah, and that's working nicely.
Hmm. Yeah, beautiful.
Um,
Just so glad to hear that. Yeah, it's like there is like the pressure is no more there, or it's as if there is
mm,
not so much pressure.
mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the struggle's pushing it away, like wanting to push it away.
yeah,
That causes more suffering.
yeah. It's
Just
coming
welcome it
to
in and
be
listen.
seen. Yeah, to be seen, to be
Mm,
felt, to be released. That's why it is coming. It wants to be released. It doesn't want to stick
mm,
here forever.
mm. But where we left the last one is that leaves the fear, because at the very end of the last call we talked about the fear of the power,
Mhm. Yeah,
because that's if we're not small, if there is only one, um,
yeah.
it's very, very confusing to the mind, because it's
Yeah, what is confusing for the mind exactly? Where is the confusion coming from?
because if there's only one and this
Mhm.
is it, it
And
doesn't seem like
mind
there's anything
feels
outside of it.
confused. Okay, mind feels confused with that.
Very confused, because then it's like that
Hmm.
would mean that this is all this creation. It is very, yeah, confused and scary to think that.
Mm.
Because if there's only this one creating all of this, then I guess there's a sense of, that sense of agency of that creation.
Mm.
So if
Yeah,
this is what we're creating now, it
yeah,
means we're creating the pain and the suffering and the hardship, and we're creating all of that.
absolutely. Yeah,
And
that's the whole truth. Yeah, we are the only creator here. There is no one else. Yeah, mind doesn't have to be like confused or scared, or yeah, we can invite the mind to rest here as well. It's okay. Yeah,
the
mind.
mind wants to take control, right? It wants to then control
Yeah,
this.
yeah, it can't the way it thinks it can. It can't. But when it is relaxed, calm, peaceful, resting, or joyful, it can create miracles here.
The mind can.
Yeah, the mind is a tool, let's say. The mind cannot, but it's
Mm.
a tool.
Mm.
It can express through mind, like all the songs and art and
Mm.
beauty in the world. It's like through that tool. It's not the mind that is creating, but it's through it. An animal
Mm.
cannot create a song or a piece of art, a masterpiece.
Mm.
It is a masterpiece, but we are able to express it with mind, to express, to like, to put another layer,
Mm.
to enjoy that.
But the mind needs to be quiet, or it's almost like, or become, or to obey rather than try to control, just to follow rather than
Yeah,
to try to
yeah,
lead,
yeah. Maybe not, maybe even not to obey, but just to come along, to
to come along. Yeah.
yeah, to be friend, to become a friend, more like a friend, not to, because this may create, this creates like a density or like something fighting with it, because it's not the
Mm.
like, these are all parts that are fighting with themselves. It doesn't have to be like that. They can be
Mm.
like that. Yeah, this is what embodiment means, to
Mm.
for mind to recognize its place here and to start creating beauty, love, care, appreciation.
Mm. So I'm finding, and I'm probably curious as to whether you use any practices, or I mean, I know that
Hmm.
practices, it's now anyway, okay? So
Hmm.
you can't practice something to get to where you already are, or you
Hmm.
can't, because it's already here. So this is it. And
Yeah, yeah,
this is the thing, because I get this mentally, I've got this. So
yeah,
absolutely, no question. I've had it for a very, very long time mentally.
I know. Yeah,
But
you don't need any practice. Mind need the practice for a while,
no.
and then it eventually will drop that as well, and it's gonna become like very curious about just being here and just being here, doing nothing,
Mm.
not doing nothing, but just enjoying, enjoying the very beauty of
Mm.
the moment. And yeah,
Mm.
there are practices that are useful and helpful. Of course, there are. We can meditate, we can practice yoga, we can do breathing. Like we sometimes, lately not, but there are moments there we are doing this breathing exercise. They're really, really
Mm.
powerful, some of those.
Mm. Well, that's what I'm finding. I'm finding that, like, because if the mind's going to be busy, then it's better that it's busy on things that are actually beneficial. So even that's
Yeah,
just
that's
instead of
true.
the mind running,
That's
it's
true.
like only God, only love, only now, as kind of a just a sensation or a feeling with the mind quiet, almost like an echo sending out,
Yeah, exactly.
or
Beautiful.
or love, grace, gratitude, just
Yeah, beautiful.
and visualizing light coming in through the body, healing the body, visualizing all that love, grace, gratitude,
Yeah,
really
why not? Why not? Yeah,
appreciation.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
What I found recently in my experience changing with the like not the connection with the mind, but what this energy is possible, what is the possibilities of that, what are the possibilities of that energy, and how helpful it may be. For example, for learning French, because there was this uh, like retreating from everything. It is very common, like to just retreat and to close and to not. I stopped watching anything,
Mm.
reading
Television, you
books,
mean? Or
the television, and also non-duality stuff a long time ago. Like I
oh yeah.
can't, I just
Mm.
can't. From time to time, but I just can't. If some friends send me something, or if someone asks me, what do you think about that? And then I just go and, but yeah, rare. So no books, no watching, no TV, no things like that, not at all.
Mm.
Not so much entertainment like anywhere. Like it's like a prison, but like not in a bad way, And I think it's a common process. Like for each one is different, but there is this process in the whole
And
awakening thing. And then what is also common and necessary is to the mind, like this energy, to come back to life, but not in an old way, in a new way. So now I can see how mind is enjoying, like this energy is so much enjoyment there is in learning French. It's like, this is what the mind is here for. Yeah. Also an
So do you
interest.
sit often? Sorry, do you sit for a long time just looking at nothing, just sit doing, just being? Not.
Uh,
So you
yeah,
might sit in the
but
garden and stare.
it's not gonna last long, Sooner or later, life will invite, like, will come and something will happen. I can't sit like all day. I want, but I can't. I mean, it's not possible, but I wish. Yeah, I wish I can
Yeah.
do it like that. Just from time to time, going into the kitchen for some snack.
Mm.
Yeah. And this is very needed. Yeah. If you feel like this could be challenging, you can try with few hours, half of the day.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I feel like I want to do a breathing exercise. Very rare, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes I feel an urge to go for a walk, like an urge.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna spend time on the beach as much as I
Mm-hmm.
can. I feel like I feel good there. Like the whole system feels really good there. So
Mm.
this is something I'm doing on a daily basis,
Mm.
like walking on the beach if the weather is fine, having a bath, or depends.
Mm. Yeah, it's the same here. Sometimes, like, I just have no choice. I've got a whole day planned and then it just disappears and
Yeah.
drinking tea and walking on the beach or reading a book uh, and I guess I have been stepping into that a little bit, but usually the mind wants to be busy while I'm doing that. I'll be listening to something or still, while I'm
Yeah.
walking on the beach.
Yeah, it's very important to distinguish here that mind wants that. You don't need that.
Mm,
The mind
mm,
needs not entertainment, but it needs I don't know,
mm.
something. Yeah,
Stimulation.
exactly. Yeah, stimulation. Like
Mm,
usually we spend, if it's possible, of course, the mornings quietly, just quietly.
mm. Mm.
Yeah, because the morning is like, yeah, there is space for that. And the mind also, this energy learns that it's good to rest. So in the beginning, it's going to be challenging, but then the very energy will want that. I mean, it will, you will feel like you want to have your time alone or in silence. You want that. You can't function without that.
Mm.
Hmm.
And so for creation from there, so because we're not as, I think I've heard you talk about this before with Lubo as well, but in terms of creation and that joy of life flowing through. And again, it's difficult to get the mind out of the way of that and then see, because it's like if there's no control at all, there's no control. It's just happening. It's just this.
Right.
Then how is there any control over what this becomes with, I mean, it's ultimate control from there, but that isn't this viewpoint. That isn't this that's looking out here that has that infinite power and infinite control. It's not this.
Yeah, it's not this, but it is unique. And it can create from the uniqueness it is. So creation comes from, we could say, light, source, whatever, universe. And it is expressing as that uniquely. And the creation is really unique. And whatever we create is unique. It has this flavor. There is nothing like that. There will be nothing like that.
And is that to allow that to happen is just this idea of faith in letting go of the mind wanting to control and not to get in the way. Is it just the mind getting out of the way?
Yeah, the mind is trying to help. When we try to see the mind as really a friend that is desperately wanting to help, we start feeling compassion towards that. We are not fighting with it. There is like compassion. It just wants to help. It doesn't want to be in the way. It doesn't know that it is in the way, It doesn't know. It just wants to help. It so desperately wants to help. It has so much energy that it can't. It just can't. It wants to help, to do, to bring, to do this and this and that and that and what, you know how it is. And when it realizes that the help that it is giving is really appreciated, then it becomes, quiet.
Yeah, it doesn't scream so much to be heard.
Exactly, because it is heard. It is being heard. Because it is demanding to be heard, because we pretend that it's not there. We're like, go away.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a powerful trigger. That is a powerful trigger in my life. That because five sisters I grew up with. So to be heard as a child was because I was middle child, and to be heard was very difficult. My sisters were 5 and 6 years older as well, and that's a recurring trigger throughout my life to be heard. So it's fascinating to see that the mind is. I'm doing the same to the mind as my family used to do to me, not being heard. Treating
Again,
the mind in exactly the same way.
beautiful to see that. Innocent. This is innocently. Yeah, it's innocent. No one did that in purpose, and you're not doing that in purpose. It's innocent. There is innocence in the whole thing. Yeah. So good to see that. And again, when the connection with our beautiful mind shifted, and then what a life.
When can you say that again?
When the connection shifted with the mind, then what a life. life becomes like a new life.
Yeah, when it's heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has its place. It wants the best for us. Only the best. Nothing else but the best.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. 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 Yeah. We can leave it like that for now if you want to. Mm.
I think that's nice to hit that trigger point. I think that's going to really help shift some things once I see the mind and go, okay, I'm listening, and
Yeah.
recognize that that's a recurring trigger throughout life
Yeah.
with my
Just
wife, with everyone, yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Just gentle with that. Something like I'm willing to have a good connection with this energy here.
Mm,
This energy is not separate from me, from what is here. There are not two here. The energy that is speaking to is someone. We are all of that.
mm.
Mm. Well, wishing you just 2 lovely days in Maldives.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess there will be a lot to explore.
Yeah, snorkeling, uh, bit of sunshine,
Yeah,
pretty lazy kind of place to be. Yeah,
nice. So amazing place to just do nothing for half of the day.
yes. Mm. All right, thank you very much, Luchana. It was
Mm,
beautiful.
thank you,
Yeah,
Michael. Yeah, see you. See you next week.
bye
Much
for now.
love.